The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has reached a new phase of intensity, marked by a record-breaking drone assault carried out by Russian forces. This attack, described as the largest of its kind, involved the launch of 188 drones in a single night. Ukrainian officials report that this wave of strikes targeted critical infrastructure and civilian structures across multiple regions, inflicting extensive damage. The Ukrainian Air Force has been working tirelessly to intercept as many drones as possible, but the scale and coordination of the attack have stretched their defensive capabilities. Simultaneously, Russian state media has reported significant ground advancements, claiming that Russian troops have entered the settlement of Velika Novosilka in Ukraine's Donetsk region. This area is a crucial logistical hub and defensive stronghold for Ukrainian forces, making it a strategic target in Russia's broader offensive. These developments highlight the complex and multifaceted nature of the war, with significant implications for both sides as they adjust their strategies in response to shifting battlefield dynamics. The Institute for the Study of War, a leading military analysis organization, has observed a notable shift in Russian tactics along the Eastern Front. Over a 35-kilometer stretch of the front line, Russian forces have been advancing at a pace not seen since the early days of the conflict. This segment, extending between the settlements of Hurov and Velika Novosilka, has seen intensified combat and a more calculated Russian approach to offensive operations. Rather than engaging in direct frontal assaults, which have proven costly and ineffective in the past, Russian forces are employing a strategy of encirclement. By identifying weak points in Ukrainian defenses, they have been able to bypass fortified positions and isolate Ukrainian units. This method has allowed Russian troops to achieve localized breakthroughs, pushing Ukrainian forces to retreat in certain areas. Geolocated evidence suggests that Russian troops have reached the outskirts of key settlements, further consolidating their territorial gains. Despite these advances, the broader picture remains complex. While Russia's current focus on Donetsk Oblast has yielded tactical successes, the overall goal of fully capturing the region remains a distant prospect. Thousands of square kilometers of Ukrainian territory in Donetsk remain under Ukrainian control. Historical patterns indicate that Russian forces often struggle to sustain their momentum, with initial breakthroughs frequently followed by logistical and operational difficulties. The recent Russian gains pose a significant challenge for Ukrainian forces. However, these developments do not signal an imminent collapse of Ukraine's defenses. Ukraine continues to demonstrate resilience, leveraging its defensive capabilities and international support to counteract Russian advances. Reports suggest that Russian forces are facing critical resource constraints, including shortages of equipment and personnel. Casualty rates among Russian troops are reportedly on par with recruitment rates, indicating that their ability to sustain prolonged offensive operations may be limited. Ukraine has also undertaken bold counteroffensive operations in recent months, including incursions into Russian-held territory. These actions have forced Russia to divert significant resources away from frontline operations in Ukraine. By stretching Russian forces thin and applying pressure within Russia's own borders, Ukraine has achieved strategic gains that could have long-term implications. However, these operations also come with risks, as they require substantial resources that might otherwise be used to bolster defenses along vulnerable front lines. The long-term impact of these counteroffensive operations remains uncertain, but experts suggest that their strategic value will become clearer in the years ahead. By forcing Russia to reallocate its forces, Ukraine has disrupted Russian plans and created opportunities to regain momentum on the battlefield. While the conventional conflict continues to evolve, the specter of nuclear escalation looms large. Russian President Vladimir Putin recently announced a lowering of the threshold for the potential use of nuclear weapons, a move that has heightened international tensions. This development coincides with new revelations from a former officer in Russia's elite nuclear forces, who has defected and spoken out about the state of Russia's nuclear arsenal. The defector, whose identity is being protected, described a highly secretive and disciplined environment within Russia's nuclear forces. He confirmed that the arsenal remains fully operational, contradicting claims from some experts who have questioned its reliability. According to his account, maintenance and readiness protocols are rigorously followed, ensuring that Russia's nuclear capabilities are prepared for deployment at all times. The officer's defection underscores a growing trend of discontent within Russia's military ranks. Human rights groups report an increasing number of Russian soldiers fleeing the conflict, a development that poses a significant challenge for the Kremlin. As more insiders come forward with information, their testimonies could undermine Russia's ability to maintain the narrative of control and dominance it seeks to project both domestically and internationally. The war in Ukraine remains at a critical juncture. Russian forces have achieved localized successes, but their ability to sustain these gains and achieve broader strategic objectives is far from assured. Meanwhile, Ukraine continues to resist, leveraging international support, strategic ingenuity, and the resilience of its people to defend its sovereignty. This phase of the conflict underscores the evolving nature of modern warfare, where conventional battles are intertwined with strategic maneuvers, resource management, and the looming threat of nuclear escalation. The decisions made by both sides in the coming months will have profound implications not only for Ukraine and Russia, but for the broader international community as well. As the situation in Ukraine continues to develop, staying informed is more important than ever. For in-depth analysis, breaking news, and detailed updates on the war in Ukraine and other global issues, make sure to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll gain access to reliable information and expert insights, helping you stay ahead of the story. Thank you for your support.